Welcome
to Leadcast. Let's go.
Intriguing.
Without delay.
Hello and welcome to episode 370 of the Leadcast podcast. I'm your host, Nick the King Cooper. Joining me, Aiden Frost Rockards.
Heyo.
And Colton Blue Basket Sweat.
Yo.
So before we get into our weeks, we're going to talk about patch 6.9, Jesus, 9.6, Dunkmaster Ivern, and kind of the feedback that it's been getting. The Tristana winner, a roundtable question from last week and this week that Aiden was so very excited for. I think he thinks he peaked. A cheesy bot lane pick, a little bit of LCS news in the LCK, and an email to round it out. So let's jump into our weeks with let's start with Colton this time.
Oh, wow.
Let's mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. What did I do this week? I played some League. Didn't really make any progress ranked wise, but I've been playing a bit more jungle and getting some Hecarim out there. I feel like you kind of have to build him damage right now. Like I tried a couple games of him like with Aftershock and being pretty tanky, and it just didn't feel very good. And like most of the time I just, teammates started dying before I could actually have any gank pressure. But played some FTL and some Into the Breach, which I haven't touched for quite a while, so always fun to play those. My FTL save got wiped because I think they did a big update, so that's sad that I don't have all the ships anymore or my records, but it also gives me a reason to play the game again to unlock that stuff. Aside from that, that's pretty much it. I don't think I really played any other games, so I guess I'll hand it off to Aiden, because he's a super interesting guy with a whole bunch of big news.
I haven't played League in 4 days. Actually, I played one game, right? Because I lost. I played one game of League in the past 4 days on my Smurf.
Oh yeah,
it's because winning really games in bronze is too hard.
Dude, I can't win games in bronze. I think it's because the reality is you can't play shit like Pike in bronze as support. Yeah. You need to play actual supports in bronze, I think, is the reality. Other than that, I don't do too bad. I feel like he's even fine mid. I just feel like...
You think so?
The gimmick of... I don't know. I feel like just you last 10 kills doesn't do enough in bronze. Sort of thing.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But yeah, so I've just been playing on my Smurf, really. I've been having some fun, trying to level that up. I think that was last week. Yeah, I really haven't played too much League. I don't know, I'm a little bit burnt out. Has the reset gone through today? I think it went through today, right?
Yes, it happened today. Colton, can you check your rank? Can we get an official update?
Yes, I am back to D4.
Yeah.
Let's see, am I D4 0 LP though?
It'll just reduce you by 100 total. So if you're
okay, I'm at D4
D3,
51 LP.
Okay.
Not bad.
And that means I'm reset to D4 0. Nick Big Brain hasn't got placed, so he didn't get affected by this.
True. Can't get demoted if you never play the game.
That's true, though. Yeah, I feel like maybe I'll start now that that's been in place. Hopefully it actually... Or maybe I could even wait a little bit so it kind of gets evened out a little more. But yeah, I'm excited to play again. I just haven't been super on the League grind. I've been playing other stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a good time to maybe take a little break.
Yeah, I still play ARAMs and stuff with my friends, so...
Yeah, for sure. ARAM's still good because, until we get to the patch, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not this patch, though, is it? I think it's next patch. I think it's on the PBE right now. Oh, is
it? Okay.
Yeah, so
we still got a little bit. We still got 2 weeks.
Oh, Aiden, I remember one other thing we all did this week. We played a new game together.
True.
Played Mario Party.
No, it's not quite the same game.
We played Pummel Party.
That was real fun.
Sort of like Mario Party, but in the art style of Humans Fall Flat.
I thought you were going to say in the Pummel Party universe.
Set in the PPU.
It's a very well established
PMD
gaming
is
universe.
The doctor of PPU.
Yeah.
I think the biggest distinguisher for me between that and Mario Party is like it's a lot more skill based. Where like there's not as many random mechanics and there's not as much we're gonna help you catch up from behind. Like if you're winning the mini games, you're probably gonna win the game.
That being said, I kind of like the random goofiness that is Mario Party's like bullshit. Like that adds to something. You know what I mean? Just getting fucked over.
It certainly does, but I actually feel like the mini games in Pomo Party are like more fleshed out than the ones in the Mario parties that I've played.
Yeah, I think the difference though is that there's currently 18 mini games in Pomo Party versus
like the 600.
70 in each game. Like I don't know. I would like if we played Mario Party at some like when we start playing this like a lot and we start getting through all the mini games. I feel like it'd be fun to finally get Mario Party working because I feel like a lot more of our friends could play that and be competitive about it.
Yeah, definitely. It wouldn't be so I guess off-putting to fall behind initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think still think we have like a lot more maps to play on that game though. I think there's like
we only played one and there's at least 2 others.
Yeah, and sounds like they have a good update schedule too. Like every like 6 weeks or so they release like more mini games and then I think there's a new map coming out in 8 weeks or something.
Yeah, they actually have them posted like, hey, this is what we're working towards, which is really different than most companies, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's actually like pretty exciting.
Yeah. Other than that, though, that's kind of been it, I think, for the most part for me.
Okay. Nice. My week was pretty average, I suppose. I got very sick pretty much as soon as the show both started and ended, like in that time frame. I started getting pretty sick. So that was rough. It's probably the sickest I've been in a while. I played a little bit of League, no ranked still, because why? You know, I'm having fun doing other stuff. So I have been playing like Zero Escape the Nonary games, and I finished the first one. I got one ending, and it was the bad ending. So I'll be going back to work on that. Played a little bit of Fury, which is actually like super fun. Would recommend if that sort of game interests you, like a bullet hell boss kind of gauntlet. And then I'm looking forward to Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, which comes out on Friday. So that'll be probably where most of my weekend goes.
Yeah,
but I'm very excited for that. From Software has done enough to make me trust them pretty much with anything for the time being.
Yeah. So. I think they've done a good job with all their shit, even though I don't like their games that much, but I still appreciate them.
Yeah, I think like Dark Souls 2 is kind of a step back, but Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 are excellent games that are kind of have kind of redeemed it. I feel like the only other company that I probably trust more is Project Red.
Mm-hmm.
Because Witcher 3 is just like one of the greatest games of all time.
That's kind of like how I feel with Supergiant. Like they can create any, like all 4 of their games are pretty, well, for the most part are pretty different, right? Like Transistor's more of a strategy game than Bastion being an action RPG. And then fucking Pyre is a fucking sports game. And then Hades is what do I want to say? What's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I think? A roguelike game. And all of them are fucking good, despite being all 4 different genres. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like that. They could make fucking a card game, and I'd play it.
Do you say a car or a
card? A card game. They could also make a fucking racing game too. Probably it'd be good.
Hey, if they could get away with like whatever Pyre was, like soccer football.
Yeah, it's like literally a sports game.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for my week. Pretty much, I'm on spring break right now, it's been so nice to just come home and do nothing.
Yeah, you going to Cancun?
And not have. No, I have a job.
Getting drunk every night. Going to fucking parties.
No, I have a job.
Lame.
But hey, whatever, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my week. So let's jump into the. Do you guys want to do the patch first?
Let's do the patch first. Why not?
Let's do the patch first. So patch 9.6 is out and is live already, and it looks like there is a bug fix which will start out. I guess one that's already happened today. The patch came out yesterday. Silas, he no longer gains unlimited mushrooms and missiles after using his ultimate on Teemo and Corki. And then after he steals Teemo's ultimate, it no longer goes on a 30-minute cooldown after casting his E and using up remaining mushrooms.
That's unlucky.
Can you imagine your ulti being on cooldown for 30 minutes?
How do
Can you
you...
imagine your team flaming you? They're like, the green light is on, and you ping it, and it says 29 minutes remaining.
Nick, how do you balance a character that their ult's on a 30-minute cooldown? What does their ult do right now?
Instant kills every single champion on the map.
I don't think it's good enough for it to be on a 30-minute cooldown.
Okay, Aiden,
I
I got
actually
you. I got
don't
you.
think
I got
so.
you. Aiden, I got you. Okay. Applies 1 stack to the Nexus. Upon the Nexus reaching 2 stacks, you win the game.
Ooh, so it's an auto...
Okay.
Not
60-minute auto win.
Not even a 60-minute auto win because you get to cast it at level 6. So you cast it like...
I guess you'd need to get 3 stacks on it. I guess you'd need... Yeah, it'd need to be applies 1 stack to Nexus. Upon the Nexus hitting 3 stacks, you win.
So it's like a 70-minute auto win, kind of.
Kind of, but like imagine that with like Ultimate Hunter and Presence of Mind.
You just start building CDR.
Presence of mind to be OP.
You're just constantly fighting to get those sweet, sweet assists.
Stop feeding him. You're giving him stacks on our Nexus. That would probably be balanced, honestly.
That'd be really interesting.
That's a cool concept. Like, that should be like a Riot interview question. You know, like, I'm not sure if you ever saw their interview questions from, like, season 2. Like, it wasn't, like, interview, but it was, like, just trying to see how your, like, brain thought about stuff. So 2 questions they would ask was, what is the most, it wasn't balanced. It was most fun to play against ability in the game. Or, like, something like that, right? And the other one was, what is the, like, least fun ability that you think there is in the game? Like, my answer was always, like, I think Caitlyn ult is the most fun ability in the game. I think it should do more damage. I think the idea of, like, it being a very slow, like, linear skill shot nuke that tracks someone is brilliant because you can have someone, like, tank the bullet and stuff like that. It creates fun gameplay mechanics, and it's not overpowered because it's a slow cast ability on an AD carry.
I almost feel like it should do more damage to whoever you target and less damage to someone who intercepts it.
What if it did, like, so it does, it's actually getting buffed this patch to 750 damage, I believe.
Ooh.
What if it did, like, 1,300 at max rank, Nick? But it did half to someone if they block it.
Yeah, like, because that would just kind of amplify that, like, you better take this or it's going to hurt.
I think the only problem with that is then that would, like, lead to the world where they just pop it at, like, the beginning of the fight when they see one person every time.
But then,
I mean,
like,
you
at the
literally
beginning of the
do
fight,
that on
everyone's
Caitlyn.
together right now.
Yeah.
That's how you play Caitlyn, though, competitively. Like,
yeah, true.
In a team
I
fight,
mean,
you just use her ulti instantly.
I just feel like that's
So.
one of the most fun mechanics in the game to play against.
Yeah, for sure.
It creates so many good situations.
We've definitely used that as an example, like, I don't think recently on the podcast, but, like, definitely in the past of being a healthy counterplay ultimate or ability.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
back to the patch.
patch to pack notes. We got Kale. Attack damage growth and attack speed growth are down. W movement speed ratio down. Default adaptive stat has been switched, and then E and W responsiveness are increased.
So it's pretty small nerf.
I think it's a buff.
You think so?
I
Because
don't-
of the adaptive swip.
I don't feel like the attack... Well, first of all, attack damage growth is down 9 at level 18, right? You lose 9 attack damage at level 18. Who cares? The attack speed growth is a little bit important because you lose, I guess, 9% attack speed by level 18, which isn't...
Plus, attack speed from your items is less effective.
Yeah, so it's like... that's probably the bigger one. But I think adaptive stat change from AP to AD is fucking massive for Kayle early game. It means it so that your runes actually do something early game, which definitely negates your base stat change, first of all. And then I guess the W is a slight nerf, but I think the E is like a huge buff. Like the fact that like it was a fucking huge lag on your auto attack.
Yeah, it was almost not worth using unless it would ensure the last hit.
Yeah, so like I feel like those changes are actually like pretty substantial. Like they're it's weird. They're like quality of life changes, but they affect her so much that I think they're like a bigger buff than a nerf.
Yeah, they're like almost too impactful to be quality of life.
Yeah, even though that's kind of what they are.
Yeah, her W change is nuts, actually. Like it implying instantly and not disarming herself.
Yeah, that was kind of a huge problem.
So, yeah. It's pretty exciting.
Nico, her attack speed growth has increased. W no longer procs twice in a row at very high attack speeds. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're buffing her attack speed growth back.
I feel like they probably just over nerfed it. It felt bad even on like mid for like last hitting and stuff like that.
You think so? Okay.
I haven't played her, but I'm assuming that's what the problem was.
All right. Orin, his W cooldown is decreased. Recommended items have been updated. He can no longer accidentally cancel his E and ultimate dashes by upgrading allies' items, and his Q no longer expires if Orin is in the middle of a dash. That's pretty
That's
pretty
a
good
really nice change.
So we're going to talk about this later, but how do you guys feel like about him getting the Urgot treatment and getting a shield back on his E?
I mean, I think he should.
Or
I feel
on
like
the E knock-up.
I don't think the character can survive top lane without a shield, but
Yeah.
that's the only reason.
I think probably to put it on like a knock-up. Like if you hit a knock-up with your E, you get a shield. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Or like even if it's like you get a small shield when you cast it, and then it like refreshes or doubles if you land the knock-up, something like that.
I mean, it should not... It was very unhealthy on his W, like for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like he almost needs it. He's a tank that it doesn't have any way to like decrease the damage he's taking. But yeah,
Cool.
Oh,
I'll
very
get
next
this one
change.
as well. Urgot, mana, comma, mana regen growth increased. I don't understand that, but sure, yep. Passive no longer deals reduced damage to the same target. W shield removed. Cost cooldown damage damage reduction decreased. Or yeah. Now a permanent toggle at max rank. E shields damage and cost increased. Cooldown decreased. R range damage cast increased. So there's a whole bunch of changes. So the first thing, that's why it was mana, because like his actual base mana is increased. That's just a weird way to say phrase that. So the gist of it is that his W now like scales down to the point where you can have it toggled on forever, which I think is a really, really cool change to the character. And they took the shield off his W and put it on his E. And then I think what is an even cooler change is they increased the range of his ult by like 1,000 range, which is sick.
Yeah, it's
To
huge.
kidnap people from halfway across the map. It's great.
Yeah.
It also does way more damage.
Yeah, I think the
true.
cast time change is actually pretty significant, even though only like 0.1 seconds more. That's like the right amount to like be able to counter it. Because right now you have to kind of dodge it when you see it flying rather than the animation, which that might help a little bit.
Yeah.
It's 25% longer to cast. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
One thing, just with this change out there, what if they did that W treatment to Cho'Gath? Where, like, eventually late game you can just have spikes on toggle.
Oh.
Like they used to be.
So...
Like, because
my
I like
only
that
thing-
idea as a general concept of, like, something eventually scaling to a toggle.
So I actually think, like, Cho'Gath's E is too impactful for it to be always on. Because it's slow, it does max health, like...
Yeah.
Max health percent damage. But I that sounds cool. I do also like the idea of scaling to a toggle, yeah.
I think definitely it's too strong in its current state to be able to do that. Like, if you did, it'd be so fucked. But I think that's actually a really cool idea, like, to make these champions feel like they're getting stronger. Like, at this point, you're just like, you're fucking mastered your abilities. Like, you can just have it on whenever you want it.
Udyr, you just have every single stance active all the time.
You're life stealing, shredding, AoEing, and stunning on every auto attack.
That would be sick. Oh my god, he should be able to go to level 20 and master every single stance.
What if they did this? What if they took away one of the stances and made like his ultimate that like it just lowers the number of auto attacks to proc the stance, right? Because like all of them are like hit 3 times to proc. So what if it was like started at 4, went down to 3, went down to 2, and then maybe like the ultimate puts him in like an empowered state or something? I don't know. I think that's.
What if he's put into a different like animal every game?
True. You just spawn into the game. You're Tiger this game. You should have different set of abilities.
Like he has like 80 animals, right? And then it randomizes 4 of them for your character. Like I'm going elephant stance max this game.
Sorry guys, I got platypus stance.
Hell yeah, guys! I got horse crocodile this game. There's no way we lose.
That'd be awesome.
Just the fucking RNG tables.
Yeah.
Oh god. And you just see like
It would be so fun to play.
Can you imagine the fucking spreadsheets who deer mains would be making that would be like on Reddit of just like, alright, if you get these 4 stances, this is your build and your skill order.
Holy shit.
Like, oh my. Anyway, Aatrox now pulls target even when they're untargetable. Passive no longer cancels while reviving. So that's on his chains. He pulls them even if they're untargetable. And the passive no longer cancels when you're reviving. So those are just buffs.
Yeah, not bad.
And bug
Caitlin,
buffs.
hey, here we are. Ultimate damage is increased.
I think that's a good change. I'm
That's
more than
just
happy.
50 damage across the board. That's good, yeah.
For Gnar, W cooldown is decreased. Is that only for Mega? Is that for Bolt? That's for...
Yeah, it's...
Wait, is it?
No, Mega's a passive. I mean, Mini's a passive, so...
Mini's a passive with no cooldown, so it's just on the wall up for your Mega Gnar.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you can proc the, like, 3-hit passive with no cooldown.
Yeah. I was just like, not remembering that properly. It's just weird that wouldn't like even state that, even though it's pretty obvious. But
Hecarim, Q stacks correctly and actually increases damage per stack of Rampage.
Big change.
That's a pretty big buff.
I'm excited to give that a shot because I was already doing pretty well with Hecarim, so more damage feels good.
How many stacks of Rampage do you get?
2.
2?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, for each stack you get more damage and lower cooldown, so that's pretty good for him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this helps his jungle clear, like, a ton, actually.
Yeah, it's really significant for his clear. It doesn't really do much of anything for his ganks, though.
Cool. Ivern, his W more quickly empowers his auto attacks when he enters brush, so it should be faster to get those ranged auto attacks out.
Faster to dunk on kids.
They should make it so that he actually creates the bush faster, because that animation takes a while.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
It's a little bit long. Jace, though, health-related base stats are decreased, so like his health growth, his health regen, health regen growth. That's probably good. He doesn't need as much sustained lane.
Yeah, for sure.
LeBlanc, Q ratio down by 0.1, so from 0.4 to 0.3. That's pretty big.
I don't think it does anything.
I mean, I think she's still, like, real strong, but I mean, I think that just a 0.1 decrease is a big deal.
I feel like for her, though, like I feel like it doesn't affect her at late game too much because she already overkills most people.
Oh, yeah.
But like to her early game, it's not going to do anything in early game because it's ratios. Like they need to reduce her base damage, I think.
Yeah, you got to mess with the base damages, and especially because like you're maxing W anyway. So. Yeah, well, that's still nerf LeBlanc. Go for it.
Yeah.
Nautilus, armor is increased and the passive cooldown is decreased to 6 at all levels.
That's a nice change.
Yeah, it is. I still don't think he's going to be pickable.
What do you think about this character? Rek'Sai, our cooldown increased, late ratio decreased. They're nerfing Rek'Sai, Nick.
Oh no.
I think Rek'Sai was dog shit before this.
She was still getting picked. I think it's because she abused Conqueror like almost harder than any other champion.
That's fair.
Any other jungler, like at the very
I think Rek'Sai had the best use of Conqueror for a meta jungler, just because like you proc it once with your Q, once with your pop up, auto attack reset with Q, you're already at 4, and then like one more auto E, and that's your true damage double down E. Like, she procced it crazy fast. Her clear's always been good. Her sustain's okay. Good mobility. Like, in team, like, I think especially like if Rek'Sai is in a good state for competitive, they want to nerf it, because just having that passive of the being like underground and seeing all the enemies is always a fucking like. Professional teams just want that, so they're gonna pick her even if she's not, necessarily the best, because that vision is so valuable.
It's crazy if you like look at the there's a website that has like competitive game stats from like season 2 to now, like from every region, like characters picked. I think Rek'Sai is still the most picked jungler of all time.
Yeah, it's because when she's meta, you pick her every single game. You blind pick her.
Yeah,
but I don't know if she's ever like worth a ban, because then you could just pick other junglers.
I think it was like pick ban rate as well though. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like she was like a lot higher than the next character though.
Yeah. I bet the next size would be like Lee Sin.
Yeah, I'll look into it after.
That'd be my guess, yeah.
Nice. Shen, his Q damage is increased. Pog.
Hell
Actually,
yeah.
pretty big buffs, honestly.
That's, I mean, doubled at level 1.
Mm-hmm. More than doubled at level 5?
Wait.
6?
Yeah.
Oh, it scales.
It scales with level.
Like, not ability
champion level.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Weird.
Whatever. Making Shen stronger and a better split pusher, I'm down for it. Love me some Shen. Silas, W base heal and heal ratio are down. Good.
Yeah, fuck that. It's so dumb. When we start playing ranked again, Trundle's W attack speed is increased, Colton, so you can play him again for us.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you can max E so your ganks are better for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. If you want me to be just like the constant gank or get lanes ahead, I'll play the fucking Predator Redemption Rush Olaf. It's so fun.
You just go Font of Life E max Trundle.
Yeah, Zaya, W attack speed increased.
It's actually pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Zoe, her E cooldown is increased and her slow attached with her E is a decreased late. First off, I didn't realize that it slowed. Second off, I don't think this character was problematic.
Not currently. I feel like she's just annoying for like a lot of players to play against is the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely annoying and she could definitely take over games if like you don't play around her properly, but I don't think she's difficult enough to play. Like I don't think she's hard enough to play against that it's nerf worthy, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I like pulled up the stats by the way for junglers. So this is just like, I don't think this is like only jungle like games for them. So like Gragas is first, but he's also played mid for like a couple seasons. But not including that, and like Camille was obviously played top. But then it's Elise then Rek'Sai. Now
Really?
Yeah.
I am actually shocked that Elise is there.
They're within 50 picks of each other. Like with Elise has 3,700 picks / bans, and Rek'Sai is like 3,600.
She was pick banned for a real long time. Like
yeah,
it
just feels like she's been out of competitive meta for years now.
And then it's Sejuani, Lee Sin, Talia.
Sejuani over Lee Sin?
Oh, this is like definitely for what's it called? Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, so the picks are for jungle, but the bans can be for any role, is what I'm getting from this. Because apparently there's one jungle Callista pick ever. But like it says there's 2,700 bans for her, but those are obviously 80 carry bans.
Oh, I see.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, cool. Who are we at now? Oh, we're at items.
We're at items.
Yeah,
Items.
Tear of the Goddess line. So now you can't build Manamune and Archangel's staff, which is an Ezreal only change.
I feel personally attacked.
Honestly,
no. He's still real strong, probably.
Yeah, I don't think this nerfs him enough, but it definitely nerfs his best build. So that's pretty good. Yeah. See, this is a nerf that this is how you approach champion nerfs.
You mean
Brawler's
they should nerf the
gloves.
item, his runes, and the character at the same time?
Like, Ezreal is the perfect example of like, oh, he only uses Klepto. We also need to nerf Klepto. Oh, Ezreal's still too strong. We need to also nerf just Ezreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has Riot Special written all over it, and they're not doing it, and it has me excited. Maybe they're learning.
Maybe. That being said, Brawler's Gloves, the critical strike on them is no longer unique, so you can just buy 5 Brawler's Gloves in your boots and just have that sweet, sweet crit strike.
Definitely didn't realize they weren't unique already.
Well, so
That they were unique.
they weren't unique for a long time, Nick. But then there was a Yasuo build where you'd buy like 2 or 3 of them or something like that to get like a huge percent, because it's 10%
Yeah.
on them, right?
I could
So
see
you-
that definitely of the like IE and then just like 2 Brawler's Gloves or something, or like 3 Brawler's Gloves.
Yeah, because
Oh, that's
it's
dumb.
1,200 gold to get your like after IE, it's 1,200 gold to get 100% crit now. Mm-hmm. That was
Yeah,
the
well,
problem.
plus you could build 2 Brawler's Gloves, and that still builds into Phantom Dancer as just a standard build path. So
Yeah,
But that's only like recently. It didn't in the past.
yeah,
I'm just saying that's why they changed this originally though, because there was a cheesy Yasuo build where you'd build like a bunch of them. So because they're 400 gold for 20% crit on Yasuo, which is wild. You could even fucking start Brawler's Glove. Well, maybe not start it, because that'd be really bad. But you could easily, like, say if you get killed early or something like that, you could pick up a Brawler's Glove instead of, like, a Longsword. It'd probably be better, I think. 10 damage versus 20% crit.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And it builds into better items earlier. Nice. Minion Dematerializer, the rune. The charges and initial cooldown is decreased. The damage bonus when you use it on a minion is increased. No,
So
I actually like these changes a lot.
I think it might create some cheese, Colton, for you. What do you think about running double? So, like, when minions get to lane at 240-ish bottom lane, or 230-ish bottom lane, right? I think.
no, closer to like 220, I think.
I think it's mid. It's 220. That's why I was thinking it's a little bit later for bottom.
I think it's right around 220 because
Then it's like 210 for mid.
Yeah, I think it's actually maybe like 2 minutes even for mid because buffs spawn at like a minute 50, so
Yeah, then your mid minions are pretty much there as the buff is spawning.
Okay,
I
so
think it's
yeah.
like a minute. Yeah, it's whatever. Like
Either way, so what I'm trying to say though is like you go double target on spot, right? Insta clear the first wave, and then second wave you insta fucking dematerialize it with
Hit level 2.
yeah, because you get them earlier now. Like I think that's actually not a bad play though for like bad like level 1 bot lanes, like more blitz, more alley, stuff like that.
yeah,
I feel like materializer is really good now because before you'd have to wait till the third wave to use it, so it wouldn't really help you in like the level 2 cheese. I think it's a pretty good change, honestly, for like
I think
cheesy
you definitely
bot
could do
lanes.
it. Yeah, and I like the fact that like you don't just like have as many charges as you want, so you can like do every fucking cannon minion for the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Which like a lot of supports were doing, and I was just like, that's dumb. Like, I don't know, I'd be fine if they even switched minion dematerializer of just like you just deal more damage to minions, like permanent, like without the stupid active.
The only reason I don't like that is because it gives like more power to champs that can almost wave clear, and the game shouldn't. I guess a belief of mine is that you shouldn't be able to clear a whole wave with one ability, because then it just makes like pushing pretty stale.
But can't you do that in theory with the current one then?
I mean, you can, and I don't like that already. You know.
Are there like LeBlanc builds, for example, or LeBlanc and Lux? I think are the big two, where they have like a point in the game where they can almost like kill the wave, or they easily kill the back wave, but struggle killing like the front wave by like 10 damage. Are there
Probably, I would throw Ari in there as well.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like you'd assume that the mains for these characters who write guides would say, hey, you
Yeah.
take minion dematerializer and you kill X number of minions like with this, or does it not
Yeah, it's
stack
like-
anymore, or does it stack?
It does. It stacks even more now. So the first one you
Yeah.
do is 6%, and then if you double up on something, it goes from 6 to 9. I still think, though, in general, like, if anything, maybe go, like, you know, melee minion with 2 of them and the cannon minion with 1. Because, like, popping the backline's easy. It's those melee minions you really want the bonus damage on. for that quick
Yeah.
push.
Yeah, but Aiden is saying like there's like early breakpoints where one Lux E is not enough, but it would be with minion dematerializer.
Yeah. That's just I'm wondering if in like guides like that they like highlight stuff like that. You'd assume they do, right?
Yeah, I'm positive. If you have like 1,000 games on Lux, you'd know that breakpoint
Because it's pretty important.
or have a good feeling.
Not having to auto like 3 minions.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Definitely.
I guess it's overheal. Shield
Overheal,
conversion decreased early, which is to like nerf the 80 carries who like take it, and then you with your like 3% off Doran's blade, you'd get a 100 health shield at some point.
I feel like overheal should just be replaced with something else.
Yeah,
like
it's pretty boring.
your own self heals are, I don't know, like 2% more effective, or your lifesteal and spell vamp are more effective.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think honestly.
Like that way, it's a choice between like, oh, do I want something when I get a kill, or do I want like something to help me survive through lane? Because overheal is just so boring.
I guess increasing lifesteal is like a weird thing though, because it helps you at all points in the game. Whereas like a lot of the runes are like, it helps you when X happens, right? Like Triumph, you get health and whatever when you get a kill. Whereas overheal, you only get your lifesteal is only kind of extra effective when you're at 100% health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's like when you're lower, your lifesteal is like more or something like that. Like that would be an all-out change.
Yeah, that'd work.
Bounties. Minion and monster gold bounties accrue more slowly and decrease if you lose your advantage. Scoreboard numbers no longer include base kill or first blood gold.
So now you won't have 1,000 gold bounties, you'll have 700 gold bounties.
Yeah, which I think is really good because I feel like a lot of people were confused by that, like even at like high levels of play.
Gotcha. Okay.
For sure. We actually talked about this quite a lot on our Discord. Just really good conversation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of came to the conclusion that it probably shouldn't go all to one person, but instead should be split among everyone who assisted in the kill.
Yeah. So like if it's a 1,000 gold kill, like base kill plus 700 gold bounty, and 2 people got the kill, then the one person would get their 300 base plus split the 700, so they'd get 300 plus 350, so they'd get 650, and the other person would get the 350. Yeah. I think that'd be a better way of doing it. I feel like just giving one person 1,000 gold is like a little bit too swingy, but
I think so too, but I do like it more than the previous bounty where the entire team got a split.
I mean, that just felt shitty, right? You'd get 1,000
Yeah,
gold,
it feels shitty
it.
that you're like, oh, okay, we're going to split it 76 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, but this is in the right direction, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ability proc consistency. So they kind of changed how damage over time and AoE spells, I guess, are affected by different things, and they kind of are they kind of separated.
They're cleaning
into,
up some spaghetti, it seems like.
Well, I think they just reclassed them to kind of put some that didn't necessarily make sense into like categories. So the first one is combination dot and AoE. That'll be like Alistair's E, Jace W, his melee W, Katarina's ultimate, where it's like damage over time and AoE, and then pet abilities, and then they kind of changed a couple abilities, including some Yasuo stuff, Summonary, Guardian Torn on ARAM, and Victor's Q. And that was just classified under miscellaneous.
One thing that I hope they change, like I feel like we'll see this in the future at some point. They should add a toggle for casting cones. If you know what I mean. Do you understand what I mean?
For
based
casting
off
cones.
that half the cones in the game are attached to your character and half of them are not.
Yes.
And I feel like it shouldn't be one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It should be, you should have the option. Because there are abilities in the game, like it's not even cones. I guess it's for other abilities as well. Anti-alt is a good example, where there are some like alts like that where you place something that they'll go off at just max range when you click them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or like cones, like a lot of cones are attached to your body, and you'll click them, and then they'll just like go no matter what. And then there's other cones or other abilities where if you click it somewhere, you'll walk to that range, then use the ability.
Yeah, I think a good comparison is like Twisted Fate Q. The cone starts from his body, but like Yorick's cone is in a circle away from his body.
Yes, and there are uses for both, right? Like a lot of the time,
Yeah, definitely.
you want to be able to like use it when you're like close range, so you like constantly are clicking it, like canceling off of it. So like you want it to be a close range ability. And then there's something like Annual, which I think Annual should stay the way it is currently. And I feel like some people might be confused. Why would you want an ability that when you click, you walk and then use it? Because they'll move out of the way, right? Well, the thing about Annual, a huge part of Annie is clicking your alt and then flashing into range, then immediately cast on the area.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge mechanic. Rather than flashing and then trying to place it in time. You place it and then you flash into range and auto uses it. So I feel like you should have the option of doing both. It's crazy that we're 9 years into the game and you don't have the option for stuff like that. Or that they're not even like...
Definitely.
I wouldn't even like have been that mad if they just made it at some point just like it's one or the other. But the reality is you should be able to do both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should be able to pick.
Cool.
That takes us to ranked changes.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about these in detail, I think, last show.
I think last week, yeah.
But yeah, so anything Master and above drops to Master 0 LP. Anything in Diamond 1 through 3 just loses 100 LP. D4 hits to 0 but does not get demoted. And rewards stick around. Grandmaster and Challenger will open up on March 27th and April 3rd, respectively.
Cool. They've added a high-end frame rate cap, so like a lot of people are having like some spiky FPS issues and visual bugs from like having uncapped frame rates. So what they're doing is they're defaulting everyone who has it currently set to uncapped to 240 FPS. And they're still having uncapped as an option if it wasn't affecting you, but this will like not only solve the issue, but like also get the memo out to people who like don't really read patch notes and stuff, which I think is a smart way of doing it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's actually, I'm not sure, but how many games default to like uncapped FPS? I feel like the default is generally like 60.
Yeah, I would say so. I guess like that this game runs on kind of like anything at this point that they probably do uncapped.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Mission tracker. They're now grouped into tabs based on events and mission type. You can navigate through the tabs, and there's a new sidebar in the tracker. So
thank God.
And then you can there's an option to look at all of them at once.
Cool.
They did some updates, looks like, to Lever Buster, just to make it a little bit more effective. So yeah, stop leaving games.
Hell yeah. Oh wait, hold on. See that? Lever Buster penalties are reduced in most co-op versus AI and pre-made 5s games. Yeah. So if you're in a pre-made 5, you can leave and it won't affect, or it'll be like
leave.
reduced.
Who cares?
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's like good though, because if you're playing with your buddies, like, and then something happens, like, then you shouldn't. Like, your buddies are cool with it, then who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the coolest thing about this is that it takes regional connectivity into account. So if a lot of people in your area are having issues like with staying connected to League, it can recognize that and be more lenient on the penalty.
That's cool.
Yeah.
At least it won't fucking ban you or something.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have lots of bug fixes.
The only bug fix to mention is Renekton's W, which is apparently a bug that you can animation cancel it, because now you can't.
God. Yeah. I'm not sure why certain characters get to keep animation canceling, because I guess it makes their character viable, but others aren't.
It's just weird that they didn't buff him in compensation, because this is obviously a huge part of the character.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, remember last time they removed his animation cancels and they like fucked him and he became an overpowered monster because you could do an even crazier cancel? I hope something like that happens. They have to.
I hope so too. Yeah. I actually believe that if your opponent buys any tenacity at all, you CC yourself longer than you CC the enemy.
Oh yeah, his it CCs you for the entire length of his slice and dice combo. Not slice and dice. Fuck, what's I don't even know what it's called.
What is that ability?
I don't even know.
Ruthless
Hunter something.
Ruthless Slash.
I'm actually going to look it up. Fuck it, I can't deal with that.
What's the name of his Q?
Call the Meek.
Call the Meek.
Call the Meek.
And his alt is Dominus or something like that?
I think so, yeah, Dominus.
Domino's
It
Pizza.
is Ruthless Predator.
Ruthless Predator, yeah. It's kind of nuts that like we all have the every other ability, just not his W.
Yeah. Cool. And then like there's some skins coming up. We have Corky, Fuzz Fizz, Meowrick, Pretty Kitty Rengar, and Fuzz Fizz Prestige Edition.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I
what-
think
what
Fuzz
was-
Fizz is really off-putting.
I mean, they're all. I think Fuzz Fizz. the problem with it is it doesn't look like Fizz, other than the fact that he's a Trident, which goes completely against. Remember the days, Nick, where people were complaining that Caitlyn skins didn't look cool enough for like their price, and they said, "Hey, we don't change skins that much because we have defining characteristics of every character." And for Caitlyn, it's her hat,
It was her top hat, yeah.
and now she has like 8 skins that don't have a fucking top hat.
Yep.
And this Fizz skin doesn't look, literally looks like a dog. It could be any like Yordle in the game.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was the name that was suggested for Rengar that should have been? Fuck. It was like another like cat pun thing.
Corky's pretty dope though.
That's what I mean, but there's like one for Rengar that like people were suggesting.
Oh, I'm not sure.
God damn it. I'm never gonna remember it.
But yeah, I saw a comment. It's pretty weird that like Corky and Fizz are actual dogs, and then Yorick and Rengar are just wearing cat suits.
Well, it'd be weird if they were like a huge fucking cat, right?
Would it?
I don't know.
But yeah, pretty fun. And then Rengar, Corky, and Yorick have chromas associated with them. So my wallet is safe.
They look. I don't think they look very good. I think the only good thing
Are
of
they?
these skins is that Corky is a good name.
Yeah, it's a great name. Yeah. So let's talk about speaking of skins.
Yeah, speaking of skins,
Hey, Tristana skin has been voted on, and you guys picked the wrong ones. You guys picked the wrong one. Demon Tristana won, and that's a travesty.
very disappointed in the community. Very disappointed in Tristana mains who picked that one.
Yep.
By far
Should all
more
be
than
very
any other ones.
disappointed. Yep. And if you voted for Demon Tristana, please you can just turn off the show, honestly.
No, you know, actually, just in order to make us feel better about this whole thing, just go on over to Leaguecast Patreon and just throw us a few dollars to compensate for your bad votes.
To be
Leave
honest,
a comment
though,
saying, I'm sorry.
I don't think any of the skins were that bad. I feel like this one's just too similar to her other skin already. The only thing I'm worried about, which I don't think is that big of a worry, but it is something to note, is that both these skin contests that we've had now, the skin that's won has been a already existing skin line, which you have to wonder what that does to like people at Riot, where they're like, why should we bother making a new skin line if people want it less than an already existing skin line, right?
Well, yeah, if it's like, if more people are going to be excited for another project skin, why am I going to go out of my way to try to be unique and creative and take this character in a different direction?
That's the only thing I'm worried about. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal, I think. Whatever. So I probably wasn't going to buy it regardless, but I think the candy, like sugar, whatever the hell skin it was called, was like a very unique design.
I think so too.
So
It's a real shame.
now talking about what else the real shame is, as you guys all know, all of the Ivern memes are very upset about Dunkmaster Ivern.
They ruined him, dude.
They ruined the character because they wanted a series.
We actually had a comment today that I posted in our Discord that this skin ruined Ivern.
Yeah.
And I was dying, dude. Like, oh my god.
Don't
First of all-
purchase the skin if you do
First
not
of all,
like
I think
it.
the skin looks great.
I like it too.
I think it's really
It's
cool.
pretty
It
cool.
actually makes me like a little excited to play him. I think it fits his character really well. And I don't think he needs a serious skin because he's fucking Ivern.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want another edgy.
Hey, Krugs, where's the wife?
Yeah.
How's the wife?
Oh, it's a thingy people buy.
I did see like a long post about we're getting into like the territory on Reddit where like now when skins come out that people don't like, they say it doesn't fit their character or like it's the wrong theme or something like that. Whereas you can just say I don't like it. Like it's weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I never see
Yeah.
anyone just say, "Oh, I don't like that." They just it's always like some sort of excuse about it where there's been like weird character skins for like since the game came out, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Baker Pantheon, that doesn't fucking make any sense. He's a fucking like Spartan. Why would he have a Baker skin? Well, if you don't, well, you can't be like, well, it doesn't fit his theme. That's why it's bad. It's like, no, it's a skin. It can be goofy. It can be fun. It can be whatever.
Pajama Guardian Israel.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Baker Pantheon, I think it kind of makes sense because it's one of his jokes, right? But like everything else in that skin line, like the Akali skin, okay. There's nothing ever mentioned about her wanting to be like a, I don't know, sashimi. Is that how you pronounce it, chef? Like or the Leona skin. There's nothing there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Dunkmaster Ivern looks fucking sick. I'm excited to see the animations for it. I saw in the very same comment thread, there's no animation that even dunks. And then also, why don't we have Dunkmaster Yi? And I thought, Yi also doesn't have a dunking animation.
Well, so I think the dunking animation for him is the recall, but for Ivern.
Yeah, I think
But
he's
then,
in like the
why-
kit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
there's
And
not
that's
one
fine.
in the kit, but
Like, do you need it to be an actual dunk? It makes sense for Darius. It would make sense for Jarvan. But why not?
It's so silly.
Dunkmaster Tristana, let's go.
What? Sure, go for it.
Give it to me.
But,
So yeah, there's a lot of like flame on Reddit, which I think is a vocal minority, not the actual feeling of the League community as a whole. I think a lot of people are probably going to buy this skin and like this skin. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think so too, and I'm glad that they that not every skin is project, even though I enjoy that skin line. So hey, whatever. Let's get into the round table.
Hell yeah. So last week's question was, what's an unwritten rule of LOL? Josh on Facebook said, if one poro gets really big, you feed it till it pops. Alex said, if you feed, don't put up the FF. I think that's a good rule.
True.
Brandon said, when someone says one more and you agree, you're really agreeing to 5 more. That's a Colton rule. Phil said, if it was a bad game honored support. From our Discord, a scientist said, he gave us actually 4 of these. He said, don't use lock screen, take flash 99% of cases. The preset rune pages are garbage, don't use them. Do not play ranked on a shitty internet connection. Those are probably good rules to live by.
Yeah, these are pretty good rules.
Lil Barnabas said, flame before you get flamed. Gearbox Dragon said, another good one is F is for flash. D is for don't put your flash here, you monster.
No, D is for D is for
Dimensional,
flash.
whatever.
Dimensional jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dimensional displacement.
Yeah. And then Blake said, in my opinion, the biggest unwritten rule is that you have to leash your jungler. I think that's actually a
good
good
one.
rule. I was like
Yeah.
thinking about this a couple months ago. Do you remember season like 1 and 2 when you'd leash by like walking back and forth really quick? You hit you'd be mid and you'd
Yeah,
hit
you
the
just
thing on the
wiggle
wall.
them forever until they were
Yeah.
dead.
There's no patience bar.
Those were the days.
Those are also the days that if you didn't get the leash, you might die to your jungle camps.
True. Unless you were playing like Warwick.
Yeah, every single character started like cloth 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oof.
I was
fucking
like
good
thinking
old
about
days.
old shit
That
like
was
that,
fun.
dude. It's so cool.
Do you remember, was it season 2 when the build for literally every single character was boots?
Yeah. Boots.
You'd have
spot.
10 boots level 1.
Yeah. Question: do you guys remember the 4 characters had dodge in their kit?
Yeah,
I feel like
so.
3 of them are easy.
Udyr, Sivir, and Jax.
Yeah, those are the 3
I
easy
wasn't going
ones.
to get Sivir.
Sivir is when you're moving, she had dodge.
Oh.
I feel like the fourth one's always the hard one. So Sivir's like kind of hard. The Jax and Udyr are obvious, but
Give me a minute to think about. Oh yeah, Nidalee when she's in cat form.
yeah, Nidalee. Yeah,
Really? I didn't know that one.
those are the days, dude.
Those are the days. So, what's this week's roundtable question, Aiden?
That's how you do trivia, by the way. This
Whom are you directing that to?
week's roundtable question. I'm excited for this one. if Riot were to create League of Legends 2, which champions would they not include and why?
Wouldn't include Mordekaiser.
Yeah,
No?
they
Too many
probably
bugs.
wouldn't.
They can't figure it out after 9 years. Just get him out of the game.
If they were going to make League of Legends 2 right now, Nick, they wouldn't include Mord right now. They might add him back in.
I mean, yeah, probably not.
I really don't think they would include Yasuo, honestly.
See, I was going to say Yasuo Riven, but I feel like the popularity of those, like, that type of champion is almost too large to ignore and not include.
I just don't think they can rework him because, like, I do think double crit is a problem as much as you like bitch about it, but I don't think it's something they can ever remove.
Yeah, it's yeah. I feel like if they compensated and just made him do like have the same
Double
benefit
damage
of crit, not okay. Well, wait a minute.
It's just better.
But just like I don't know, 15% damage across the board. He gets like normal benefit from crits. Like I don't know.
Get rid of Malphite.
I feel like they'd probably trim up, some of the older characters that aren't necessarily popular and don't have a lot of flashy gameplay mechanics, maybe. Like, I can't see Udyr getting into League 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuff like that. Ashe probably doesn't make it. I mean, I think the biggest one, honestly, is Vladimir.
Vlad
I
is,
think
fucking massive.
Historically, that's the only champion that they've ever... that I know like have publicly come out and said this was a mistake and we would take it back if we could.
Yeah, he's a fucking disaster, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's like when he's strong, he is oppressive, and when he's weak, he's unplayable.
Huh. Is there any, like, of the original characters you think they would remove? Like, the original, like, 20 or whatever? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think if it was gonna be any of them, it'd probably be like half of them, right? Like if they were gonna remove any initial characters, they'd probably get rid of like all of them that they haven't reworked since.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Singed.
Yeah.
Even though he was like number one.
Yeah,
I think that would be the only reason they keep him.
I could see him getting rid of... Was Warwick in the initial bundle?
He's close
champion
enough.
role?
If not, then he was, like,
Yeah.
a month after.
I could see him getting rid of Warwick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you look at it from, like, a beginning of the game perspective, they probably were like, fuck, Warwick's a nightmare. I think he's less of a nightmare now, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's, like, one of the only characters that could jungle at the beginning.
I kind of wish the jungle were a lot harder.
Yeah, do you? Because if you got fucking shut
Maybe-
down, you'd want to kill yourself.
Maybe not a lot harder, but definitely more like... I think it would be fun if camps actually had mechanics.
Yeah.
Like if
Herald
Blue Buff and
esque
Red Buff
mechanics.
had, like Herald-esque mechanics. That maybe, I don't know, maybe it was faster to stand there and just DPS it, but a lot less healthy.
Like, what if, like, red, because it's, like, a fire thing, like, every once in a while, like, fucking created, like, a lava flow around it, so you had to, like, back off it, even, like, something like that for, like, a second, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or even like, I don't know, went into animation and launched a bunch of fireballs that you had to dodge.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something to, like, make it so you don't just sit there and auto-attack.
Yeah, like, I'm okay with, like, the wolf camp and, like, raptors and stuff like that all being kind of, like, basic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Cool. So if
So
you
if they
want
want to send in...
to tell us
Sorry.
where to answer this week's round double question, you can hit us up on our Facebook page at LeagueCast. Send us an email, mail@leaguecastpodcast.com. Come into our Discord and post in our roundtable question where, like, all these wonderful people did.
Yeah, we already have some answers for this week's set, which is pretty exciting. Getting fast. Cheese pick.
Cheese pick. Cassio and Teemo in the bot lane. Teemo's E poisons someone, which means that Cassio's Twin Fangs gets the cooldown and mana reset, as well as the additional healing on poison targets. So it's pretty impressive, and if you get ahead, you just kind of stomp all over them. Teemo can do pretty well with just like a Frost Fang into support items, and Cassio as an AD carry works just fine because she's got really high consistent DPS. So it's a fun cheese lane. I think good, especially if you have like a really heavy AD team. You know, you got your Zed mid, and you're like Yasuo top, and your Lee Sin jungle, and you're like, damn, we need some magic damage. Pick up that Cassio Teemo. So that's the pitch.
I think one of my favorite cheeses of all like time, Colton, was when I was actually just thinking a second ago because we were talking about jungle. So you know the meta in the jungle where you smite different things, they gave different like buffs. Like you smited the wolf and it did the wolf spirit and stuff like that. When you smited Gromp, it gave you poison. So you could play Cassiopeia top with smite, and you could smite the Gromp level 1 and go into lane. So you had the poison like buff thing. Yeah. So like you could immediately just spam your E on them.
Yeah, they'd have to hit you one time and then you just go all in.
Yeah, it was like, what a fucking cool cheese, like based on the meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be sick. I kind of miss smiting and getting benefits.
Like, fucking Wolf Spirit was cancer, dude. It was actually ruined jungle.
That was definitely the best one. Yep. Nice. A bit of LCS news. For those watching LCK.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Griffin dropped their first series and then dropped 2 series. So they had been very dominant up to this point, winning, every series. They dropped like 1 or 2 games so far, but then lost to Gen G and then lost to Afrika, which are currently the 7th and 8th place teams in Korea. So that was a bit of a surprise after, beating SKT and Sandbox, but hey, they're mortal, and it now seems a little bit more competitive up there at the top between Sandbox, SKT, and Griffin.
All the top teams like got wrecked this week because Griffin went 0-2, G2 went 0-2, then TL went 1-1. It's a weird week.
Yeah. TL's first loss was ugly too.
Yeah.
It's not good. Yeah, it takes us to Mailfight, where we only have one question, and it's from Tom. It says, hello, guys. Thanks for the great show. I have a question about targets, which hopefully would make for a decent podcast topic. I've been playing since mid-Season 7, just scraping silver in my first season and getting gold last season, all as a top lane main, playing mainly Garen and Maokai with a sprinkling of other split pushers. This season, with the announcement of positional rankings, I decided that my season's goal would be to attain gold in every position and become a more all-rounded player. As an EUS player, I knew I'd have to wait a while, but was content in the first split to make gold, which I did within the first month of the season with a 70% win rate, and have looked to practice other roles and normals with my friends. Unfortunately, positional rankings aren't going to get shipped to us now, and it's left me at a bit of a loss of what to do in terms of targets for myself for the year. I already play normals with my friends and typically play Phil, but that doesn't quite have the same milestone achievements as positional ranks we're going to give. Do you have any suggestions on what to do in this situation? I don't really feel the need to grind to plat, and my friends aren't big fans of flex, so other than ranking up other accounts to play on, is there anything else you could suggest that would be a fun but tangible goal? P.S. I've already been passively working on reducing deaths and getting more CS over the off-season to varying degrees of success. Thanks in advance, Tom. So I guess this is a sort of side of the positional ranking being removed that we didn't see. I could see it being pretty disappointing to lose out on that opportunity, especially as someone who didn't get to experience it at all.
Especially as someone who did reach their goals.
Oh, true. I mean, yeah, you could take the Colton goal, try to get gold in every single rank. So you can queue solo as flex, get gold in that, get gold in threes, and then, I don't know, maybe work up to see how high you can get on your best champion and just kind of take the season by the horns and make it your bitch.
That being said, I think, like, even though you can't now, get gold in every rank, like, if you want to just play Phil every game and be a well-rounded player, like, you can do that. It won't be as much of, like, a tangible result kind of thing, but, like, that's one way you can go about that, being that was his initial goal, was to hit gold in every position.
I would just track it yourself, though. Honestly, like keep a spreadsheet of like the roles that you play, and then try to keep them above 50% win rate or something. I think that would be like a self-imposed goal.
Yeah, maybe even just play X amount of games per role at a time. Like, oh, I'm gonna play the next 50 games as a top laner. Let's see how I can do, and then move to other roles if you'd like to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Aiden said, slowly keep track of your own results and watch as you progress throughout the season in splits. Or yeah, honestly, maybe pick 3 roles and play them as well as you possibly can across each of the splits, and then see how high you can get. I think that'd be a good goal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hopefully that helps, and that takes us to the end of the show. Thank you guys for listening. If you like us, you can follow us on Twitter at LeagueCast and at LeagueCastFrost. Our Facebook is LeagueCast. You can come talk to us on TeamSpeak, ts@leaguecastpodcast.com, or on Discord. And I will send you the Discord link if you send me an email at mail@leaguecastpodcast.com. I've been doing we got an influx of Discord joiners this past week. I think there were like 4 or 5 emails. So trying to stay on top of that as quickly as possible. Check out our streams, twitch.tv/bluebasket and /kinglardout. We may be streaming some fun stuff coming up, including some Pummel Party. Looking forward to that. And if you extra like us, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/LeagueCast. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next week for episode 371. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.